Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we have a little video that I have created for you. I am still organizing all of my charms. I forgot that I even had these pigments for resin. These are not resin. They're not resin, they're just pigments. There are similar bottles that look like this that are resin, but these are not resin. These are pigments, and the box even says epoxy resin pigment. So do not be confused, thinking that they are actually little resin bottles. Some people might think so and then go to cure it and then are trying to figure out why it's not curing. And it's because it's not resin, it's just pigments for the resin. It's just to color your resin. So that's what these pigments are. So I have already started to use them. I think my favorite is that fluorescent pink. So far, those beads came out absolutely stunning. I will show you what they look like in this video. We're going to pop them out of the mold together. These are the gold beads that I made. I have already assembled the bracelet, but I wanted to show you guys what these looked like before I put them together. And yes, I did make these beads custom. I will show you in a minute the molds that I'm using. This is what the beads look like. I wanted them to remain semi-clear. Now, this was my first kind of trial and error bracelet, of me making my own beads. So I think that the beads came out stunning for the first time, me trying to create my own beads. I will say the black and white pigment that I have used, I do feel like those are having a little bit of a hard time drying. So through the pigments, I'm going to look for pigments that are more kind of like translucent, that are thinner. I'm finding with the thicker pigments, the ones that you can't really see through, those are having a hard time drying. I'm not sure what it is. I do think though, next time I am going to try to mix it up on the side, let it sit, and then pour it in if I am going to use a pigment. The thought for the beads that I am going to make is I kind of wanted them to be clear. These were the next beads that I made. I actually have them in my hand right now. These were I wanted to make like a black bead, but also it be clear at the same time. So I wanted to kind of just drag the black pigment a little bit around the mold and see how that came out. So I did 3 little tiny beads, and then I did 3 bigger beads. So that's what you see there. I do like the way that they came out, so I'm probably going to make another 6 of those so that I can make a bracelet. What I had in mind is I wanted to make like a jade bracelet. I do love jade bracelets. I really want a real authentic one. But for the time being, until I get one, I really wanted to make a beautiful kind of jade bracelet. So that is what I am going to do. Now, I did use white pigments to make these kind of jade vibe beads, and I don't like the way that the white dried. Now, I may have not just mixed it up enough, so that could just be my error, user error. I'm going to try and use the white again because some of the beads I love to see kind of like a marbleized look with the white, and then some of the white just didn't get mixed up all the way. I was scared to kind of scratch my mold mixing it in there, and I just realized that I have silicone tools. I need to not use this little cuticle wood stick. I just, as we're speaking, just realized and forgot that I do have silicone tools. So I don't have to be afraid to scratch the mold. I can just use the silicone tool. And either you can mix it up in the mold. Well, the reason why I don't want to mix it up in the mold is because when you create bubbles, if you don't want them, it's kind of hard to get them out of the mold like this. If it's a bigger mold and it's open, you can kind of like get the bubbles to pop with a heat gun or alcohol, or even pop them with a little wood stick or whatever tool that you are using. These are the kind of like jade vibe beads that I made. I didn't show you guys exactly how I made them. I will do a little tutorial hopefully sometime soon showing you guys exactly how I'm making these. I'm making them and then I'm just showing you how they come out. Let me know what you think. I really love the way that these came out. I am by the end of the video going to show you what these look like in a little bit of sunlight. But yeah, I do like the way that these beads come out. The beads came out. The only thing that I'm not, super excited about is how the white pigment is super thick. But that's okay. We're gonna work with it. And when I'm using these pigments, I'm not using a lot. I'm barely even using a drop. They are very highly pigmented. You do not need a lot of this pigment at all. You don't. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on that. Maybe I'll make some more kind of jade looking beads. But for my first bracelet, I don't think that it came out bad. I think it's beautiful. Not all of the beads are like exactly the same. Some of them have little defects in them, which I think is the beauty about, things being handmade. Not everything is, gonna look beautiful and round and kind of like just came out of the machine. Like, I love the look of handmade, even if there's little defects here and there. I actually really love that. It makes, the piece what it is. It kind of just brings it to life, in my opinion. So, but of course, I'm going to try my best to not have any defects. But if it happens, it happens. Because that's what happens when you're trying something new. So yeah, these molds are brand new to me. I wanted to make like orange and black beads and see what I can do with those. I actually want to make a black and orange bracelet. That was my intention. But yeah, I can't get over how gorgeous this gold bracelet came out. I love it. It is so beautiful. Wait till you see me put together my jade bracelet. I'm going to just call it my jade bracelet, even though it's not jade. I just tried to make the beads kind of look like jade. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun creating these beads. If you would like, everybody, I'm going to try my very hardest. I'm a little backed up on videos. I'm trying to get all the content that I can for you all. But yes, I am a little bit backed up on content, so I've got to catch up slightly. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? I was going to tell you something. What was I going to say? I was organizing my oh, that's what I was going to say. So if you'd like, excuse me, I'm sleepy. If you'd like, let me know if you'd love to see a tutorial on how I make these beads. Thank you to all of you that have commented about the beads. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm trying to change it up and do something a little bit different. You all know that I've been making bracelets, and I thought, why not start to make my own beads? So that's what I'm doing, and I'm making them with resin. If you were curious, you could make clay beads. That's something that you could do. I don't know if the mold would work out for you with the clay, but definitely with resin, it definitely works for sure. For sure. And you can see here that I have made my own beads, and you can do it too. You definitely can do it too. If you love making bracelets and you maybe wanted to make and create your own beads, you can do it. You can definitely do it, because I did it. So I'd love for you to try, and I'd love to see what you come up with. I now made these tinier, beautiful pink beads. We are going to pop these out of the mold. I think that so far the jade and these pink beads are definitely my favorite. Last night I made these little pink ones. They've got a little bit of defect here and there. I'm trying to get the top of the bead as close to round as I can. Because you can't fill up the whole mold, because there's a little silicone piece that sticks out which makes the hole for you. You can't cap that hole, or yeah, you can't cap the whole thing. You can't fill it up to where you don't see the hole anymore, because then you are sealing the hole, and you definitely could go ahead and get in the bead and remake the hole. But I don't really want to drill resin, right? We all know resin is toxic. We don't want to breathe that in. You could bring it outside and drill them, but I'd rather do uh the less. I don't want to do all that work. I'd rather do less work. So if I can avoid, dust and drilling and all that, I'm going to avoid it. The uh, Literally the rest of the bead is beautiful and round. It's only the top of the bead that does get kind of like this little lip on it. It doesn't bother me much. I could take them out of the mold and kind of, literally it just needs a drop more of resin, and then it'll probably kind of level out a little bit. I tried to do that with some of the beads, but yeah, when I'm making bracelets, I'm just going to stick the ends that are not as round kind of like in towards each other. And really, when you're wearing the bracelet, you're probably not even really going to see that. But then again, that's why I love making my own beads, because you can make them kind of however you'd like. But yeah, I need to figure out how I can get the top of the bead more level, because you can't fill it up. Like I said, you'll be blocking the hole. But like this one here, I could probably fix up a little bit. But yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. The less kind of stuff you put in the bead, like if you're sticking glitter, or little bits of clay, or mylar flakes, that all is going to create bubbles. I have been noticing, especially the smaller mold that you have. And when you go to mix in there, you really want to make sure that you are not creating bubbles, unless you want intentional bubbles. But I think it's a little bit difficult to not get any bubbles. So I'm trying my best to just avoid making bubbles. But yeah, once I pour in the mold and add whatever it is that I want to add, I kind of will drop the mold down just on the surface to get out all the bubbles, and kind of help them to kind of reach the surface and come up, so that we can, pop them. But yes, let me know what you think of these jade beads. You see the one in the corner right there, the white one? That one was probably, I don't know, my least favorite maybe. I do like the way that it came out. I just think that specific bead, I added maybe a little bit too much white. But like I said, I really just added a half a drop, if not a drop, to each mold, mixed it around, and that's how the bead came out. But my recommendation to you, if you are doing this, I would recommend that you mix the resin on the side, wait for the bubbles to come up, and then add it to your resin. Excuse me, to the mold. Add the resin to your mold. And then I think that way you'd be safe with not getting any bubbles or anything like that. So yeah, try that out. So yeah, this pigment so far is definitely my favorite. I kind of like it a lot. And like I said, you don't need a lot. You really just need it. I don't even want to call it a drop that you need. You really, excuse my nails because I cut them down and I was um, filing them, and then I forgot to dust off my little thumb there. But so this white doesn't like to cure correctly if you use too much of it. And when I tell you I used barely a drop in each mold, barely a drop. Like if you were to take, I don't know, the end of a cuticle stick and just kind of just touch the bottle with the pigment, like, and just a speck. It's almost a speck what I'm using. It's not even a full drop. It's like a maybe not even a half a drop. Because I didn't want to use so much in the beginning because I knew for some reason that they were going to be very pigmented. And also the box says that they are very pigmented. And by the looks of them, they look like they are very pigmented. So I wanted to start off very slow and just use a little bit. And so when I tell you I barely put anything in, barely. But then when it came to this white, I may have put too much, although that one I think I did put a full drop. So maybe a full drop of white is too much. So I think I would go, I don't know, maybe like a half a drop. And that's kind of hard to measure, right? So I really just will take a little tool and just get just a little bit of pigment on the tool, and then you can mix the resin with the pigment. Excuse me. And then you should be good to go. These here came out beautiful. I did have a little bit of problem with the tops. I don't know if you can see right there. Everything is beautiful and round at the bottom, but then when it comes to the top, because you can't fully cover it, right? You can't fully cover the little silicone insert that's in there, because then you close up the hole. So as the beads are coming out, I have been fixing some of them. As you can see, on one side it's perfectly round, and then towards the top it's got like a little lip on it. So I have, if that has been happening, I have been taking the beads out of the mold and kind of trying to stand them up a little bit and kind of get a little bit of resin wherever it needed, and then I cured it really quickly. You just got to make sure that they don't roll around, because we don't want it rolling around while it's trying to cure. Yeah, I think that they came out very adorable. My intention was correct. It just is the tops of them that I need to work on. Also, this mold is much smaller than the bigger one, so I feel like it is probably bound to happen to the smaller one more, I think. But just look at these. These are beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted kind of like a fluorescent pink bead, but I also wanted it to be clear, right? I wanted that like look. I didn't want it to be a solid color. I just wanted just a little bit. Look them in the, if I try to put them out in the sunlight, which you can see here, I think that they look stunning. So I can't wait to see the rest of the beads that I have out in the sunlight. They just look so beautiful. I can't wait to use the rest of the pigments, because I've got a couple of pigments that I want to use that are not so pigmented. I'm looking for more of like the runnier pigments, if that makes any sense. These are my new spacer beads. I love the way that these came out. I love them. I love the way that they're coming out. I actually last night spent a good amount of time with these molds, and I'm actually getting a lot better with it. Remember that little lip that I was telling you at the top of the bead? Or I guess you wouldn't really know what the top or bottom is of the mold, but when I get that little lip, that is the top, because when I am placing the resin in the mold, that little lip is what is at the top of the mold, right? So I am calling that the top of the bead, right? I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but I'm trying to get a lot better with it now. I think that the bigger bead is much easier to not get a little lip on the bead for some reason. I don't know if it's because it's bigger than the other mold. The smaller mold is the one that I am kind of working with, but I'm getting much better at. Now, even if you take the beads out of the mold and they do have that little lip, I found a way to kind of seal that up. It is a little bit difficult because you want to try and not kind of fill the hole, because then you'll be getting, resin in the hole of the bead, and you don't really want that. You could try to clean it out as best as you could before you inserted it into the light, but to avoid doing all of that, I'd rather just try to carefully fix the bead as careful as I can, and if it works, it works, and if not, we'll go ahead and try to make some new beads. But I love these molds. They're really just a lot of fun. I am going to I made some the other molds that I have as well. Jade. I'm just going to call them my jade beads. I made some more of those, and I love the way that they came out. They do look like little marbles. They sound like little marbles too, but they are beads because they've got a hole in them. And I have already assembled 2 bracelets. If you see them at the top right of the screen, there's gold and like a jade colored bracelet. Those 2 I have made with the beads that I have created on my own. So this has been a lot of fun. And the ideas that I have, I have already started to organize my beads because I am kind of cranking these beads out because I kind of figured it out now. And like I said, I want to get into the other molds that I have. There is 2 other molds that I want to use, 2 different sizes, but I guess the design of the bead is going to be a little bit different. And I've got ideas for that. And then I also have, I think that's it for the bead molds. But I do want to get, maybe I'm going to try to get maybe 3 different sizes or 3 other sizes for the bead molds and see what we can create, because I want to get some smaller sizes as well. I do have that, the one small size, which is right here, but I do want to try some other sizes. So we're going to do that. But look how beautiful these came out. I think that they came out gorgeous. I wanted to kind of test out these pigments, not use too much of it, maybe using a drop, if that, probably less than that. Last night I went and kind of looked through my nail art stuff, and I picked out some neon powders, some glitter mixes, some gold flake, and I want to use that in the beads and see what we come up with. I was trying to look for a couple of other things, so when I get home from work, I'm gonna try to, it's really early. I'm gonna try to look for a couple of other things that we can test and use in our beads. It's been a lot of fun, and it's kind of fun to sit and create because your mind really runs and tries to think of what's the next idea going to be, and what do I want to create next. So I'm already thinking of other ideas, but I hope you like them. They've been a little bit of work, but a lot of fun to create. So let me know what you think. I want to sit down and write some ideas of what I want to do during the rest of the fall and winter. I've got a lot of ideas in my head, and I don't want to lose them all. So I'm probably going to start writing things down, but I've got so many ideas, and I kind of want to spread them out throughout the fall and winter. I don't want to come out with too much too fast. I want you guys to be able to, I don't want to say keep up, but I don't want it to be too much. I never want to put too much out all at once. So I kind of do like to spread it out. So the ideas that I have, I'm going to spread it out to the next couple of months and create, whether that is nails, with the beads that I'm doing, clay, any sort of resin art, anything like that. I am going to be, you'll probably see hauls in and out here and there, maybe some watch me works, but I'm going to try to split everything up, spread it out as much as I can. Here are the beads so far that I have created, and I think that they are all so beautiful. We're going to add the rest of these to the organizer. These beads have been so much fun, and I can't even wait to get home to create more. They're so much fun. They are so much fun, and I'm really happy to get back into resin. I took a little bit of a break from it, and then I started to use it again when I started to coat my clay nail stands with resin. And I was looking at my little bin the other day of my clay stands, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get back into it. And I still haven't even finished the little watermelon. The little watermelon. I'm taking a peek at it right now, and I still have it. I still have it. I just haven't finished it. But I want to get back into that. Like I said, probably get back into making some resin charms or figurines or something. That ghost mold that I have, I want to try that out. That's something that we will definitely try out. That might even take a whole bottle of, or at least a half a bottle of resin, that little ghost mold. So that'll be a one-time thing that I probably use, because that ghost mold is a little bit bigger than what I thought. But if you've got any ideas for these beads, I know you guys are so creative. Down there below in the comment section, let me know any of your ideas. I know that you will have some for me. You guys always do. I'm going to try and use some little mixes that I have, powders and things like that, and see what else I can or I was going to say create and come up with at the same time. I did last night make some beautiful beads, and I can't wait to show you them. I did use some silver foil, and then I mixed in some like holographic little shards of, I think they were like little hexes or something like that, and I cut them up a long time ago and said I really wanted to use the rest of what I had, so I used them in there, and I think that they came out beautiful, and I can't wait to see them in the sunlight. Hello. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you liked it, turn on your post notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. It really helped me out. Once again, I appreciate you being here. I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, let me know what you think down below in the comment section of these beads. It is something new that I am trying, but that I am really enjoying. I did find these molds on Amazon. If you are curious, I'm going to go back and get a few more because I want to try a couple more sizes. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.